How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, aka our store review video for today. This time for this new episode for this series is going to be my review on the 2023 superhero film, and this is the newest installment to the DCU, will also be in the second DCEU film to be released this year after Shazam! Fury of the Gods. And as you guys can tell from the title of this video, of course I'm here to review The Flash. Now, this is directed by Andy Muschietti, who you may know him as the director of It and It Chapter 2. So he's now come to make a new installment to the DCU, which is, of course, The Flash. And so the story of the film is that we see Barry Allen, aka The Flash, played by Ezra Miller, uses his super speed to change the past, but his attempt to save his family creates a world without superheroes, forcing him to race for his life in order to save the future. So that's pretty much the story of The Flash. Now, when I first heard the announcement that we were going to get a movie about The Flash, part of the DCU, I was really excited to see all of that on the big screen. But before we actually did get a trailer for his own movie, there's been a lot of backlash all over the internet surrounding Ezra Miller and his truly disturbing crimes, which are absolutely disturbing as hell. And yeah, sure, Ezra Miller may be a bad person here, but from after hearing all of his controversies, I was hoping that all of that wasn't going to really harm this movie or anything like that, because it didn't really effectively mean that all of that wasn't going to really harm this movie or anything like that, be really bad or anything like that, because I was still excited to see this movie since I'm a huge fan of the Flash character myself here. And once I actually did see the trailer for this film, I was still excited to see this movie here. And this film just came out just yesterday around the globe, the 16th of June. But I actually saw this in an earlier screening in my area, which played on the 14th of June in my area. And I went to see this the day it came out in my area, and I saw this at my job for free. And I still have my free ticket for the film right here. And for the people in my screening, there was quite a few people in the screening that I was in, but it really wasn't much of a full house though. But after watching this whole movie, I gotta say here, guys, that I generally had a really great time with The Flash. This was overall a great fun ride of a superhero movie here, you guys. And I can also say this is definitely one of DC's better films here in most recent years here as well. Despite the whole controversy around Ezra Miller and his crimes, for his performance here in this movie, I gotta be completely honest here, you guys. I thought he was terrific in the movie as Barry Allen and The Flash. And I liked how this film approaches his character pretty differently here than what we have seen before from his previous appearances in the DCU, because for those appearances, he was mostly like a supporting character. While for this film, of course, he's the main star of the film. And I liked how this film approached him very differently from the way he's represented here in this film. And I also liked how they represent his portrayal in this film very differently here, because for his previous appearances he was mostly like a comedic character, while for this film he's mostly like a kind of like a talky character, and I also really like that here and there in this film as well. And I also liked how this film centers on his present self and his alternate version of himself, which I thought this film did a really great job from representing all that here on the big screen, because it was really fun and really entertaining to watch here throughout the entire film here. It's mostly due to the interactions and the chemistry throughout the entire film here, which was really fun and entertaining. It's mostly due to the alternate version of Barry Allen, because he is really goofy and really annoying in the film. And I liked how he does all that to the present Barry in the film, while he's trying to fix the situation that he's done and all that. He's totally messed up and all that. And as for everyone else who are in the film, like you've got Sasha Calle as Supergirl. I thought she was great in the film, and I liked how this film approached the character of Supergirl very differently here than what we have seen before. Because this is not the Supergirl that we all know from the comics. This is a different version of this character that we've never seen before. And I thought Sasha Calle really kicked out of the park here for her performance, as well as like the action scenes, because she's a total badass to watch for the action scenes in this film. And of course you have Ben Affleck returning as Bruce Wayne and Batman, and he was great once again here in this film. And of course, as you've seen from the trailers, Michael Keaton is back as Bruce Wayne and Batman. And after seeing him in this whole movie, he was such a joy to watch throughout the entire film here, and he just managed to steal every single scene that he's in throughout the entire film as well. And I also liked how this film approaches his character very differently here than what we have seen before as well, from his previous appearances as Batman from both 1989 and 1992, mostly due to the action, because for the action that he provides in the film, it's the ones that we never seen. It was the ones that we never saw him do or anything like that. And after seeing all of that in this film, it was so fun to watch throughout the entire film here as well. And when it comes to the action scenes in this movie, I thought they were very entertaining and yet a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, it's mostly due to the directing by Muschietti, because he did a fantastic job directing this movie, because it looks really stunning to look at, from the camera work to everything else that he was able to provide on screen. Like, there's some really great action moments in this film. Like, there's one where Barry, as the Flash, tries to rescue some people from a perilous situation, which I thought that was a very well made scene here from Andy Muschietti's directing talent here. And this one where the two Barrys and Batman, Keaton's Batman, go up against a bunch of guards, which I thought that was a really great scene. And of course the whole finale, which is really exciting and yet really fun to watch here. And however, when it comes to the effects in this film, it's mostly like in the action scenes, in which I found the effects in this film really rough and yet really unpolished here, because it was very distracting for me to watch, because there are times where the effects can be very, very noticeable here, and that is one of my biggest issues I do have with this film here. However, when it comes to the story for the film, I thought the story for this film was really well made here, and I liked how this film tackles on some different elements, a different mixture of elements here that this film tackles on here. Like, it tackles on grief and laughter, in which, when it comes to laughter, it's mostly like on the humor side in the film, in which when it comes to the humor in this film, I thought the humor in this film was very entertaining throughout the entire film. It's mostly due to Miller's fun performance here as Barry Allen in The Flash, as well as some like other funny moments in this film, from other characters in this film. And when it comes to grief, I liked how this film tackles on that, because there are some moments where we see Barry Allen and his mother, but I thought those moments were very heartwarming, and I kind of wish this film could have added a bit more of that, because I did like some moments like that. And that is another issue I did have with this film. And when it comes to like the Easter eggs or fan service, they were very surprising, and there were a few I didn't really see coming, which I thought were very unpredictable here. And there were a few that almost got me in tears while I was watching this film and all of that. And and as for the pacing, it is pretty well paced and all that, since despite the film being only 2 hours and 24 minutes, and there was never a moment where it tends to drag on or anything like that, because this film manages to get straight to the point, and I felt it kind of flew by pretty quickly while I was watching this film and all of that. So overall, in the end, guys, The Flash, this movie was overall a great, fun ride of a superhero movie here. It's definitely one of DC's better films in most recent years here. And despite the whole controversy around Ezra Miller, I still managed to have a lot of fun here with this movie from beginning to end here. And if you are a huge fan of The Flash, like the character of Flash, this is one you don't want to miss out for yourselves here. And I highly recommend you see this movie with either your best friends or your family. So that's pretty much all I have to say about The Flash. I'm going to give The Flash 4 out of 5. Despite being flawed, I still managed to have a lot of fun with this superhero movie here from beginning to end here. And like I said, I can definitely say this is definitely one of DC's better films in most recent years here as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After Store review on The Flash. And let me know what you think of this movie, if you have seen this already, or if you just recently checked out this film. Did you have a blast with this, or were you very disappointed with this? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Falcon's Media Corner signing off.